Hello, everybody. Welcome to the underrated podcast. Shut the fuck up. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the underrated podcast. This is a podcast where we discuss films that we feel are underrated or perhaps underappreciated, or even ones that have just slipped under the radar that passed most people by. The show is a collaboration of friends, and together we are the Undercast Company. With me here is my sister Ariel Ortiz,
Hello.
and from District 6.
No,
No.
no
Oh,
Oh,
longer.
not anymore.
No
Don't worry about it. I'm gone.
Call back.
And Derek McDuff.
Hey,
Did you even say Alan's name?
He said his own
Nope.
name.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
what's up, guys?
And so today we are going to be discussing a movie for our new series, Big Swings. And basically, these are movies that follow a criteria in which we've created where they are hugely imaginative, have a massive special effects budget, so the movie will be littered with CGI, very very ambitious world building. It's the moments in the films are kind of considered bonkers. That's part of our criteria, and also they're not part of an existing franchise, so nothing like Star Wars or Spy Kids or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
sorry,
Uh,
we could be here. We could be heroes. You're not making the cut.
I know, it's just a franchise. They shouldn't have made a second one. No, I'm just kidding. Today we are going to be talking about my pick, Gods of Egypt, which is a 2016 film directed by Alex Proyas and written by Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless. Yeah, that's the way to
Yeah.
describe the film.
Sharpless.
No, everybody
Um,
knows Burke Sharpless.
No,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
one way to describe the film. Sharpless.
Burke Sharpless.
He's
He also
very
did
sharp.
Dracula Untold and The Last Witch Hunter.
Yeah.
Bangers, of course.
Wow, that's kind of impressive. I am. Yeah,
Last Witch.
Witch
no,
Hunter.
No, that one's the one with Vin Diesel. I thought it was the one with
Vin Diesel.
our crazy man, Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
That's another one.
so with Gods of Egypt, it was a 2016 movie that came out, and it was a standalone movie released by Lionsgate. Like I said, directed by Alex Proyas. And when it was first released, obviously it faced a lot of backlash, even to the point where the director himself actually came out and responded to journalists and movie reviewers, telling them that they basically discrediting them and saying that they're just dumb and stupid. And so this movie is very interesting. I picked it because, honestly, in terms of big swinger movies, this one isn't one that a lot of people know, or at least people that I've talked to know. So it's also a little bit under the radar.
It kind of like got buried by Clash of the Titans movies, I think.
Well, okay. So during the time that this movie came out, it felt like this movie came out a little bit late. It's obvious that it wanted to be along the lines of something like Clash of the Titans, or it's a big Hollywood movie about Egyptian mythology. So Clash of the Titans. That's what is
Greek
mythology,
Mhm.
Roman mythology. There was, I don't want to say 300 because that's.
Well,
No,
Greek and
300
Roman
is still like
mythology
Greek, yeah.
are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
so this was Egyptian mythology. So the movie consists of this giant world. I mean, it starts off with an exposition dump narrated by the older version of Robin from
Beck.
Titans.
Yeah.
DC.
Nightwing
Yeah.
From Titans.
We never see the older version. And does he speak at the end?
Yeah. He's like,
Speaks-
and that's how I became. Like it's like, how would this guy
And
get
that's-
this voice?
He's like
Yeah.
he's like
He's
Bob
like-
Saget and how I met your mom. How I
Yeah.
met your mom. How I met your mother. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's how I met your
Even-
mother. Horace.
And that, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how I saved the gods of Egypt. Da-na-da-da-da-na-na-na.
The gods of Egypt. That's what it says at the end. Just from the moment, yeah, even when it says gods of Egypt in that
title card,
that's the 3D animated title card
which
in the
I
world.
think has been a trend that we've seen in all of our big
Mhm.
swings have been a
Oh, yeah.
gigantic title card, even Tomorrowland.
Even Tomorrowland,
Mhm.
the Valerian is one that I remember very specifically. It has that it's very, yeah.
Yeah, Clash and
Uh,
Wrath of the Titans had that too.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Clash
So-
and Wrath of the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
With this movie, I remember very specifically when it first came out. I seen it in a theater, of course. Not really knowing well, I knew that it was supposed to be along the lines of, like I said, Clash of the Titans or something like that. It's a big Hollywood movie with a bunch of what?
I thought you were gonna say. I knew it was gonna be about gods of Egypt.
Yeah, I went into this movie. This movie's about gods of Egypt.
Yeah, it
And
it
so-
delivers on the promise of the title.
It does,
I'd
'cause
hope.
it takes place in Egypt, and there's gods of Egypt. And I would like going into the movie, and you see how they present certain things. It's kind of weird. It starts off pretty standard enough. You got some 3D rendered statues of things and narration, and then it has like a fly through of this
Because it was a mural. Remember
oh
the
yeah, well,
cut?
hieroglyph. Oh yeah, and then it cuts to, then you're like the camera's flying over the this beautifully rendered, beautifully like um very audacious realization of ancient Egypt, and it's all bright and colorful, and it's in the desert, and it's like a giant oasis, and it's like, okay, this is the world. And it starts simple enough. It starts with like a whimsical scene with Robin Beck. His name's Beck, the character who's narrating the movie, even though his voice only comes in from the beginning to the end. But what makes this movie different for me is pretty much everything that happens afterwards. It's very out there, I would say. It's not like Clash of the Titans. There are moments where it tries to be, but it's very curious at how different this movie kind of is. I really can't say I've ever seen anything like it. It tries to be a lot of things. Obviously it's going for something really big. But not all of it works. I really would like to hear what you guys say about it before I go any further.
Yeah, I guess I'll kind of get into it because this is a movie, like, I remember seeing a trailer for it back in, like 2015 with my friend Yuli, and I was just like, we got to see this movie. This movie looks fucking insane and weird, and like, I didn't think it was going to be good, but I was like, this movie's going to be fucking fun to watch, like, because it looks absolutely bonkers. Like, of all the movies that we've talked about for our big swings, this one I think is the most just weird. Like, it's bonkers and crazy. Because it's like, yeah, there's like the gods are 9 feet tall and they bleed gold, and it's just like there's all like Jeffrey Rush lives in the sky, and like there's all this just insane shit, and I was just like, I wish I need to go back and rewatch this movie drunk. I feel like, because I think I might enjoy it a lot more. It seems like a really cool, just fun drunk movie, and that's kind of half the thing about these big swings, is that they're just weird. And this one's not necessarily, I didn't like it as much as the other movies, but I still am like, that was something I've never seen before, and I really like that aspect. I'm a really big mythology buff. Like, I love studying and like poring over different world mythologies, and more often than not, it's usually like Greek mythology is like Greek/Roman mythology is what kind of gets represented in like storytelling, like films and stuff, or like show up like in representations, like they'll be like whatever, the centaurs will show up, all that stuff. a little. Sometimes you'll get Norse mythology, and then kind of like third tier, way below the other ones, is probably Egyptian mythology. So it was cool to see this kind of other thing, this other kind of mythology be represented, even though all the gods were still white people for some reason, except for Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. But so I was interested to see that, and I kind of like know the story of Horus because of that, and to see it kind of like presented in this way, like Jerry Butts' set, like it's just like this Scottish man is like a god of Egypt, and he's like, oh yeah, oh yes, I'm going to have to take your eye there now, and it's just like, what, like it's so I don't even know how to describe what I was viewing. I really got to go back and watch this movie drunk, because it is just, and it's an experience. I feel like it should have been more fun, and maybe if I had some alcohol, it would have been, because it is just wild. But yeah, I don't know if you guys wanted to go more into that.
So I forgot that I watched this 3 hours after I watched it.
Oh yeah.
Because like, I don't know. I mean, it was okay. It was like it was very bonkers movie. I mean, like I wouldn't have expected like gods to be living among humans like that, and like oh they're just right there kind of thing. They're just 9 feet tall. That's what we're gonna go with. That's what makes them gods. Oh, that, and they're transformers.
Oh yeah.
Sick mech suits.
So yeah, it was definitely over the top. But yeah, I'm not really familiar with Egyptian mythology that much, or like Horus and that. So I didn't really know the story and stuff, but yeah, it was just like it was always like just over the top, like Jeffrey Rush's character, just like as Ra, was just like, okay, like you're here on a I remember the boat of from my small amount of knowledge of Egyptian mythology, so I remember the boat. But yeah, it went pretty fast. Like that's, I think, why it was kind of like forgettable for me. It was kind of like it went pretty fast, really quick story. The character that I was like most impressed by was actually Anubis. Like that, I think that character
that's my boy.
Yeah, Anubis was
That's my
rad.
boy. I love Anubis.
He's my favorite of the Egyptian gods for sure.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Boom, high five.
But no, like even his design was like a lot more like, I mean, I guess because Anubis is kind of like more mainstream of the Egyptian gods. But yeah, I mean, like definitely like the whole relationship between Beck and his girl was all right. Like yeah, like the start crossover. Like I was just getting frustrated because like Beck, you could like you could break into this like place that your girl is like held up in. Why can't you just take her away? Like you could totally steal her away and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just like I that actor, unfortunately, like like he's had his bad run of movies and stuff before he's like kind of like found some success with Titans, with this, and then another big swing of the Pirates of the Caribbean series playing.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Forgot about that. He's Will Light.
Yeah.
Will Diet, yeah.
And so yeah, it's like it definitely like was the most bonkers of our big swings. And not saying no, I think I would put Valerian. I think I would still put Valerian as more bonkers than this, in my opinion.
At least this was like lighthearted. Oh shit! Now I'm starting to talk like an Egyptian god. Lighthearted. No, this was more of a lighthearted bonkers. That's why I like this a little bit more than Valerian, because Valerian honestly took itself a little bit too seriously. At least this movie was like, it was much more fun and enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh man, I love this movie. It was just so bonkers. I'm a I'm a sucker for mythology, so like same like Derek. Anything that has to do with like mythology, Egyptian, Norse, Greek or whatever, Roman. I love that stuff. Like me and my girl, we love watching that stuff, and it's such a fun movie. It's so bonkers. It's a CGI fuckfest, and it's so shiny. And I was just like, we were having a great time with it. Like I heard so many bad things about it, so I was like, all right, it's gonna be garbage. I'm hoping it's like bad but gold, and it's
Literally.
not bad at all, dude. It's not bad at all. I loved it. It was so much fun. I love the transformations. I didn't think they looked like Transformers. I was just like, yeah, that makes sense. They're gods. Why the fuck would they not have cool like Egyptian armor?
Definitely, Gerard Butler's character is like
Set.
final form. Set's final form with all of the
when he becomes the Thanos of the
becomes the
Egyptian.
Thanos.
Oh yeah, definitely. I completely agree. I was like, this is like the Infinity War in like one movie. It's just Set is like, I'm gonna fucking get all the Infinity Egyptian stones and shit and just add it to me. He's like the brain of the Mind Stone, the Eye Stone, the Wing Stone.
No, yeah, like the wings go joot joot, and then they go into his body. That's what.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
Gave me.
Oh yeah, he rips off his like ex-girlfriend's wings or whatever. Like
his sister
ex-wife.
His ex-sister wife.
Well, that's the whole thing about Greek or Egyptian mythology. I mean, pretty much all mythology, like Scottish they were all banging their sisters and shit.
Well, yeah, they didn't even mention either Osiris and Isis. They're fucking that's his sister wife as well. So
yeah,
but yeah, that's like they're all.
They don't got wings.
So basically, the sisters married the brothers.
It's Egypt
because Set is his brother.
They're all Jeffrey Rush's Ra's kids.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love that scene when they go up and they're like, it's just like, here's some crazy world building. Like Ra's just like, let me explain to you all this world building right now, and like we have that same kind of fish out of water character, like we just talked about in Tomorrowland. You had the fish out of water in that movie with the kind of main girl. In this one, you also have that with and then Casey, and then you have that one that same kind of character with Beck to kind of like introduce the people to this crazy world of the gods and stuff like that. Because he knows like, oh yeah, like Ra's up here, but he's like never seen like Ra up on this crazy boat. But Jamie from Game of Thrones has.
I like Horus more than Beck. I didn't like Beck.
You can't have Horus without Beck. Because the relationship with the two, it's like you got a god and you got a mortal, and this mortal is not like other mortals because he's like, I'm not afraid of you gods. You guys are just a bunch of bitches. And
y'all
the god's like, oh, shit, damn, he's like for real. And they both learn and teach things to and from each other. So I think that relationship between the two of them was like, oh, campy. It's cool to watch.
It's a very campy movie. That's a good way to put it.
Oh yeah, it's a super campy movie, but it's so fun. And like, you know what I really appreciated too? It wasn't predictable in the sense of like, I was putting money down with my girlfriend. I was like, Gary fucking T.U. Beck is gonna be a demigod. He's gonna be the son of Ra, or he's gonna be the son of Osiris, some bullshit. And he wasn't. And I was like, cool. He's just a mortal kid.
Yeah. He just fought Rufus Sewell at the end because he was like, they got a mortal bad guy and they got a mortal good guy. Boom.
Because
gods are having a crazy fight.
Ooh. Oh,
he's
the
such
architect?
a good bad guy. Yeah, I fucking love Rufus Sewell. He's such a good bad guy.
Nice Tale,
your girlfriend,
Man in the High Castle. This, when he popped up, I was like,
Legend of Zorro.
Legend of Zorro. Yeah. No, when he popped up with this, I was like, oh, of course. Like,
yeah.
It makes sense, of course. I mean, it was just it's just a fun fuck around movie to watch, a drinking movie. Like definitely, like I think me and my girlfriend kept making jokes like when they went up to go see Raw, and they were just like, hey, like we need your help, like Seth's being an asshat down there, and he's just like, well, I can't do anything about it. You guys are my sons, and you guys are all equal, and he's like, the only way I'll help you is if you bring me the Black Pearl or whatever.
Where's Jack?
Where's Jack Sparrow?
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm going to kill the swarm.
Yeah. Give me a sec. Give Jeffrey a sec. his. Well, okay, yeah, gods can have like super cool mech suits too, but he just gets big.
He just gets big, and then I
Yeah.
totally thought, oh, he killed him, and then like the next scene, he's not dead, and I'm like, oh, okay.
He's in the
Good.
waters
Yeah.
of creation.
He just yeah.
You best
wanna
be
go-
believing in Egyptian ghost stories. You're in one.
Oh my god, I loved this cast so much.
And then he
Jeffrey
had, I don't know
It's
if
a
you
great
noticed it.
fucking cast.
I don't know if you noticed it, but he had like what I could describe as kind of like a. I don't know if they were going in the direction of like Asian, but he had like that Asian braided ponytail. That it was
No, it's not Asian. It's Egyptian.
It's Egyptian.
This movie was directed by an Egyptian man.
He was
This
born
movie
in
was
Alexandria, Egypt.
Yeah,
Um,
everybody.
but it was the weirdest thing. Like I don't know if you guys noticed his hairstyle. It was like just a white braided.
He had that like Pai Mei
Yeah.
hairstyle and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it's hard not to because he's like Barbosa, and you're like, oh shit, Barbosa looks different. So going back to, I guess the core of this movie to me is in the heart of it all, because you always got to find a heart in these big swing movies. Because you got this
CGI.
you got these grandeur worlds, right? And they take you into different places. You go see the Sphinx, you go see the Gold Vault, you go see, the afterlife or like purgatory, wherever
The
it's
underworld.
the underworld.
Yeah.
But at the core of this movie, like we were saying, it does have a campy vibe a little bit. To me, it's Horace's redemption story.
Mhm.
So it's just really, I was like, okay.
Which he wasn't like he was a nice. That was the thing that surprised me is that he was a nice guy for the whole movie. Like Horace was a pretty good guy.
Yeah, but he was like a playboy god
He
dude.
wasn't. He was
No, the
was
first
not.
scene was literally him waking up in like the aftermath of an orgy.
I don't know.
Yeah, legit. Like, he just, like,
You don't remember that?
down.
All the
told
bodies.
you, I don't remember.
You thought
Yeah,
this
that's-
movie?
Yeah,
Like,
he
where you
just, they
meet
just
him.
woke him up and they're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
he had a queue of bitches and shit." You know, like, just a queue of like girls hanging out, and they're just like, "My lord, the leader of this god of the skies or whatever." Like, you did it. But yeah, no, he fucked around, and then
And then Elektra was like, "What the fuck, bro?"
yeah, Electra was like, "Hey, I thought it was your one and only Matt Murdock, but I guess not."
It is cool seeing him, go around. He looked a lot like Solid Snake throughout the entire movie. I was like, shit. His Solid Snake going on his like redemption story. He's
He
got to help.
didn't have any cardboard to hide under them.
No.
He kind of like had at the beginning like kind of like a phantom limb kind of situation where he kept kind of stumbling and falling down.
Because he was blind.
Yeah.
He's in pain. He was punished. He's a punished god.
Egyptian Gods 5, The Phantom Pain.
Dude, like they were wanted this movie to be the first in a franchise. What the fuck would the sequel have
No
been?
way.
I know they were full fucking ham in this one. There's I don't know where they could have gone with it.
I get maybe they would do like a God of War thing where they go to different pantheons. So they're like, all right, we got.
I'd be fucking down for that. I'd be so down for that.
Thor shows up in the sequel or some shit. Like that would be fucking rad.
Like the mythology cinematic universe.
Yes.
Oh,
that would be
dude,
incredible.
100. I'd be so fucking down for that. Just like Horus and Anubis just fucking shit out.
Like because they're so similar, I wouldn't be surprised. But is it the same studio that did Clash of the Titans? Is it Lionsgate Summit? I don't know.
The Weinstein.
Yeah, Lionsgate did this.
Yeah, they did under Summit, and then but yeah, I'm wondering if they were like secretly going to create a cinematic universe.
I honestly doubt it. I think this movie is just
I mean, they've all won like Golden Raspberry Awards, so why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Like, might as well.
Razzies?
Well, because like you don't really, they literally like there's what like maybe 5 gods that they name by name, essentially. Like, and that's pretty much your whole cast, of gods.
That's all you
priests. So
need.
they would, have
Shit.
to,
I
I
mean,
would think, possibly
like you got
introduce-
Gerard Butler, who is like, I do not want to die. I want to live. And he's great in it. I love him. Honestly, I love all of the cast except for really like Robin and the other girl, who's just like
Yeah.
The
the other
main two, yeah.
The humans
Zarya
are
from
like-
Overwatch or whatever.
girl.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not all entirely his fault. I know he's like really good in Titans, I hear, but I mean, like this is like 1 out of 3 movies that I already know that I don't like him in. Where he's just like, dude.
Oh, my favorite fucking line is he's just like when he's trying to steal the Eye of Horus or whatever, and he's like, by golly, look at all that queue of fucking scorpions on the floor. I was like, are you fucking serious? I was like, really, dude? You live in fucking Egypt. Of course there's
But in all
scorpions.
these movies, like
Wait.
in this movie, in Pirates of the Caribbean, and in Blue Lagoon, he
I
has
forgot about that shit.
Wait, wasn't he in another Disney one too? He was like Prince Charming and Maleficent?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
He was in Maleficent,
because
yeah.
they switched the Prince Charming in the.
Yeah,
was he
they
in the first
switched
one or
it.
the second one? 'Cause
He
I
was
don't
in
know.
the first one. He was in the first one.
Yeah,
he was
it's
in,
somebody
like-
else in the second one.
I mean, he's got like his
Alan,
Robin
by
a
the-
little bit serious, more lockjawed.
I
and
thought you were
handsome.
gonna say your favorite line of his was like when like it zooms in on him and he was like fighting some guys or something, and it was just gonna zoom in and he was gonna be like, "Fuck Horus."
No, the Scorpions line was my favorite one. I was like, are you fucking serious, dude? You
He
live
really
in
said
Egypt.
golly?
He did not say by golly.
Did he say by golly?
No, he was just like, wow, there's a lot of scorpions. And I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's fucking Egypt, dog. Like, God damn.
Yeah, it
There's
reminds me
fucking
of
one of my things that disappointed me about this movie, I didn't see one giant scarab not fucking eat somebody. There was giant
but not-
scarabs.
Okay, but
Okay, no,
they
there was
are
giant
scarabs
scarabs.
in the movie. They
There's a
fly
lot
them
of
in
things.
chariots.
Yeah, they play them, but like I wanted a scarab to
They
just like
fly them.
rip somebody apart. Like
They
that
were
would have
just
been sick
horses.
as fuck.
They're just horses. That's
Horses.
essentially what they are.
They could have
I
just
know.
fucking Pegasuses.
No, yeah, like you want
That's too Greek.
like you want
Too Greek, yeah.
the
Too
the
Grecian.
mummy effect. Like, the mummy hyped up the scarab so much,
Mhm.
as being badass insects that will just kill on sight.
But that's just
brain.
Hollywood shit. That's not real.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
not,
had
that's not the
giant
real Greek.
ones.
Scarabs.
That's not the real gods of Egypt. Like this movie.
Mhm.
Dude, that's not real gods of Egypt.
Nope. They go fucking fucking Saint Seiya and they have fucking golden armor and shit. I'm like, okay, I'm down with it.
That's like why I'm really glad that this was the finale, because this movie just goes all out. Like it is just so
much.
There's so much movie in this movie. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why it's the perfect like way to cap off this miniseries we've been doing of these big swings, because this is a fucking swing. They were swinging for the fences. Like they were thinking this is gonna be a fucking home run, and they just struck out.
I could see
I mean,
like
I
It was like a
think-
mad foul ball.
This is a movie, guys,
Yeah, I think and then I think now like Gerard Butler is kind of like
starring in,
become like a king in the big swing era. Like I mean,
Geostorm.
Geostorm, like
What's the
even, like Greenland.
Greenland?
No, that's just
Uh,
disaster movies that he's in. He's just in
Yeah,
a lot
and
of
then he's
disaster
starring in
movies.
another disaster movie too,
Yeah.
which I forgot the title of.
Oh, and then
What is
well,
that? Like Olympus has fallen or some shit like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
Olympus
Yeah.
has fallen. It's kind of like like a.
I'm so disappointed
more
it was not
practical,
about
but I mean, there
mythology.
is kind of like big action sequences, I guess.
White House Down.
White House Down and Channing Tatum isn't it?
And then Jamie Foxx
Yeah.
too.
But yeah, I think it just essentially like it definitely does swing for the fences. Like it's pretty much nonstop enough that you just like I kind of got lost. I was just like blinded, like.
Oh yeah, you get blinded a lot, but it's like kind of fun.
Just like
I mean,
Seth
especially
Horus.
Oh,
yeah.
just like that to Horus, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, is it?
I can do this all day, and he fucking
This
blinded
movie
us.
makes this movie makes you feel like
So
Horus.
they put the one thing that I want to say is that I just had to laugh about is that they put so much emphasis in how much they build up this suit and like weld in every little piece and like stronghold it, and then a freaking
come
human
on.
could come in and just pluck the eye
You're
out.
being too critical.
It's just
You're nitpicking. Stop it. Stop.
I was like, it's welded. A human hand
It's
can't.
welded by the
You're just
fires
a
of
little like
Egypt.
robotic thing. They're literally robots. They welded in
I
place.
like
Well,
though,
you know,
too, how they welded it like if it was like a futuristic tool. Like they just got like a piece of metal and like heated it, and they're like, boom, welded. And I was like, yep, makes sense.
Yep, checks out.
But
They needed to get the armor from Wonder Woman, even though those wings got torn off.
it was
in like 2
the
fucking
armor
seconds.
from Wonder Woman.
Reused assets.
That
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 84 totally ripped off this movie.
That's true.
It's about the descendants of the gods. They get cool
Gods of
armor.
Amazonia.
hmm
The gods of Themyscira.
She's the daughter of Zeus or whatever.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's the daughter of Zeus, made out of clay.
No,
Even-
it's just, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's just insane movie.
Okay. I was gonna say something about the visuals. It's
Sorry.
no, yeah, they're stunning. I mean, it's like you said, it's this movie. It's a lot of movie. I mean, I think the only real physical set was set. There was three sets.
It
I
was
got
Jerry
it.
Butts. That was the only physical set.
He was the only physical set.
Yeah,
I got him.
There were three. Well, it's kind of there were parts where it's like, okay, you can tell the difference between a set and a green screen. At the time, I mean, it did come out like 4 or 5 years ago. Even at the time when I was only like, shit, how old was I? 14,
14.
15.
God,
I was like, I wish I was stoned right now watching this shit. But yeah, it's. I guess it maybe. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but maybe it was a little bit too ambitious for its time. Just because obviously a lot of the technology wasn't up to par with what they were trying to do. There was a lot of times you're like, oh, that's a physical set, and what's behind him is a green screen.
Yeah, because like look at Mandalorian now. That's all done pretty much on screens, and you can't tell like that first
shit,
episode
I
on
mean,
Tatooine.
they still do like because that's the thing with Star Wars is that I feel like they found that like there's a balance between practical and CGI. That's what's always been the best thing with Star Wars is that other than the prequels, but don't get me, I love the prequels, but with the prequels they were like let's go full digital, but with the sequels and Mandalorian they're like they were able to find the perfect balance of.
But yeah, you wouldn't be
CGI
able
and
to tell
practical.
that they're not on a set really for almost all of the Mandalorian. Because like when they're on Tatooine, it's just like this wide, expansive landscape. It's because there's in that time like there's been movies like that fucking Oblivion movie with Tom Cruise and like First Man where they like used a lot of this kind of like revolutionary screen technology where it's not just like green screens around our actor, it's like actual projection technology. And this predated it by a couple of years. So I think you're really onto something, Sergio, when you say that this movie, if it had come out a couple of years later, they would probably utilize this technology. And the fact that you could tell, you wouldn't be able to really tell that they were on a set the entire time.
I would go as far as say because I think that technology is still in
The
its
works?
infancy. No, not in its infancy of being used. Like the Mandalorian itself has made like kind of news on that kind of technology. So I would think that like maybe like
with
5 years
this
from
movie.
now.
Well, I was gonna say, okay, yeah, the technology might be more up to par today, but would this movie work today? Because, like I said, I still think the movie came too late because it was trying to be like a mythos Hollywood
Classic
movie.
type.
Yeah,
Well,
a big. I mean, yeah, it's supposed to be this fictional real Hollywood realization of this mythological world, so it could have even come too late. But I mean, I think honestly, it came out at just the perfect Gods of Egypt time. If it came earlier, it would have just been forgotten. It's like, oh, it's another one of these movies. And then if it came too late, it'd be like, what is this? This is random as hell.
Well, I would think that it would actually fit into like an 80s kind of era.
Yeah, like
Okay,
when you were when saying it came too late, like it does seem kind of like an 80s movie,
Maybe
Like,
this was
the
written in
original
the
Clash of
80s
the
and they
Titans.
waited until the
That's true.
technology was ready because Alex Proyas didn't want to make the movie until the world was ready. And the
Oh
world
my
was
god,
ready.
he's James Cameron before James Cameron.
Yeah,
The
without
world's not ready for
it's
Gods of
literally
Egypt.
pioneered the technology. Without this shit, Mandalorian wouldn't exist, guys.
Yep, 100% agree.
Gods
Thank
of
you.
Gods of
Egypt
Egypt beta
walked
4.
so that Mandalorian could run.
Yeah.
Unreal Engine. Okay.
Unreal
Let's
Engine,
Google
Unreal Engine Gods of Egypt version.
There was a mobile game that released with this
How do
movie.
you know so
'Cause I-
much?
Temple Run
Oh
Gods
my
of Egypt or
God.
something.
I played
Tell
it,
me more. Tell me more.
and it was literally like
please.
a 3-stage thing. You only played as I think the first 2 levels you play as Beck, and it's literally just like a tap, like you
It's
just
just
tap.
two turntables and a microphone.
Yeah, there you go.
God damn it, fucking Alan.
You play it on your phone. You tap the button to hit people. You hit a bunch of those like you remember like the Fire Nation army guards that were in like that set summon when
Oh
when
yeah.
Horus blew the horn and all the clones came in.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just basically fought a bunch of them in the game, and then on the final level, you got to play as Horus, and Horus had like a little god meter, and if you killed enough people, the god meter would fill up, and you got to go into mech mode, and basically it would do like some sick swoop in combo shit, or I don't really remember. Oh, never mind, I made that up. If you do it, you just get bigger. You start killing. You just do what you do. Yeah.
It sounds like some anime shit, and I'm down for it.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
once again,
It-
and you just
this-
turn
this-
fucking Saint Seiya.
This whole movie kind of was just like kind of classic anime, with just like the power creep and everything, just like it just being just
Oh
over
my
the
god,
top.
yeah, because right at the fucking end, he's just like Horus is like he saves a Beck and stuff, and like Beck throws the fucking other eye of Horus, and then Horus is like, nah, fuck that, bro, I'm gonna save you.
Yeah. See.
And then he goes fucking Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, and then he fucking flies over and picks him up, and then he's just like, but I thought you couldn't fly, and he's like, it was all here, bro. It was all in the heart.
Yeah. I love it.
Barbosa told me. Captain
Horus.
Barbosa told me that the Black Pearl was always right here in my heart. And he just fucking went Super Saiyan God and shit, and he's like, and fucked shit up, and I was like, all right, I love that stupid shonen shit. Okay, I'm down.
Guys,
It's
the
great.
real
I love
gods of
Horus.
Egypt are the friends we made along the way.
The gods of
Yeah.
Egypt.
Yeah.
You know that scene? The little colored girl that gives him the eye at the end?
The colored girl.
I
Wait,
don't-
what?
Yeah, no, the
Yes, I know.
The
what
little
you mean.
Egyptian girl.
But
The
it-
Egyptian-
Yeah.
Egyptian black girl gives him the eye. I don't think I don't know if it was in my mind.
It was in your mind.
It was in my mind because I thought
Jesus.
that the
She thought that
foreground,
basically
it
there
was
was.
segregation.
She thought that like there, how it's in the street, right? The physical set of like the street where Beck lives in, where you got like basically the first physical set you see in the movie, where he's like running through the town, where
They
they find
put all their white
yeah.
villagers
Oh,
on
he's
the
like
side.
street rat, riff raff.
I
That
was
was
wondering
the-
why you used that very outdated terminology
Because-
for a second,
As
Ariel.
the light of the sun was hitting one group, and then another group was standing to the other side, and
I don't know.
I-
I guess
I'm
the
not
whole
sure if that's
whitewashing of
true.
This kind of
Yeah,
went
there's
overboard.
no, that's true. We were going like, let's see if we could find any real. Oh, that might be an Egyptian. That might like.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
man,
like
yeah, I
apparently,
would.
like they did come out and apologize afterwards.
That was-
'Cause it
yeah,
was also
that
like
is
this-
the
The one
controversy.
that had
yeah,
did-
Exodus had the same thing happen too, and like around the same time, that Exodus movie where it's just like, what if Moses was this Welsh guy named Christian Bale?
Oh, Russell Crowe.
No, it was
And then I,
Wait,
I
what?
think Immortals had the same thing as well.
No, there was a
Exodus
movie
was
called
Russell-
No. There was
no, Exodus was Christian Bale.
Exodus was
Yeah, yeah.
Exodus. Like Exodus. Noah's Noah.
Yeah, Noah.
Noah,
No,
yeah,
no,
Noah's another big
There's
swing.
two. They came out. There was this weird phase in Hollywood. I swear to God, when like the studios were making these weird versions of like
Biblical story.
biblical stories. You got Noah, which was like really weird. They and it had like Emma Watson and
Well,
Russell,
Darren Aronofsky too, right?
Russell Crowe as Noah.
Yeah, that movie's definitely a big swing because it's like, what if the
Is
it's
it?
like it's
I mean, it's
that
not-
movie is about as faithful to the story of Noah as this movie is to like the Horus story. It's
And
just
then-
like
and
this weird big swing interpretation of it, you know?
And then there was Exodus.
God's what was the
Gods,
subtitle?
Gods and Kings.
Gods
Yeah.
and Yeah.
Oh, I know what you guys are talking about now. I was like Exodus, but yeah, I think I didn't watch it. I think I just literally saw the title.
it,
and was
yeah.
like, man.
No, but the story of Exodus, Ramses is like Egyptian, and then Moses is Christian.
Yeah. Or like Prince of Persia, when literally the only person who isn't white in the entire movie is Ben Kingsley.
Is the villain.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh, not a great look, guys.
That's what they did in Exodus. Kinds of King. It was a weird phase in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It was weird. Well, I'm glad this
I
movie.
think they were trying to do like the Ray Harryhausen kind of era back in the day, where they were like doing Clash of the Titans, and they did like all these biblical stories back then, where you know I can't remember what movie, like the rivers ran with blood and all that stuff.
Ben-Hur and all that shit.
Ben-Hur, yeah, all that stuff.
Ben-Hur is technically biblical.
Well, it's like that same line of movie. I'm glad that this movie got to be a part of that kind of attempted resurgence at the Harryhausen.
Yeah, and even sometimes like the monsters, when they were fighting them, they had that kind of weird like stop motion animation kind of like look to it.
Oh, the 360 camera.
That and like also like when the scorpions moving and like where they're on the waterfall and they fight them and like Horus just like cuts their heads off and shit. They kind of had this weird like death kind of thing, and it looked funny, but no. But other than that, like, yeah, I know what you mean.
So, I would like to know you guys' closing thoughts, particularly on whether or not you think this is worth a watch for anybody, and if so, under what conditions, if you know what I mean. So, I'd just like to hear you guys' thoughts on that. If any of you would like to start.
Yeah, I think.
Wow, this is great. I love this.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
Derek.
Okay. Yeah, I would say, yeah, definitely watch it. And probably, I think I was too sober when I watched it, honestly. Like, I hinted at that before. But, I mean, if you're going to watch this movie, don't watch it sober. Watch it in an altered state, you know, whether it be drunk, or like you said, Sergio, you thought it would be fun to watch if you were high, you know, whatever your drug of choice might be, whether it's alcohol or pot or whatever, just go into it with a little bit of an altered state of mind, and I think it will really help your viewing experience, and it'll make it worth it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, of course, like I recommend all of our movies just to check them out, get your own opinion on them. Personally for me, it was just like it was definitely a big swing. I'm sure, like, yeah, it's enjoyable for what it is. It for me just didn't grasp my attention as much as other big swings for some reason. Maybe it was because like I just wasn't feeling it. But yeah, definitely check it out and see for yourself.
Definitely, I just go watch it, man. I think this film swings the fucking hardest compared to all the ones we've seen. It really, really swings for the fences and more. Like, it's trying to swing out of the fucking galaxy. It's so good. To watch it sober first, and then watch it drunk, then watch it high. Whatever you got to do, just watch it, man. It's so much fun. It's a great popcorn flick. Like, it's just so fun. I had a great time watching it. Like, I watched it right before this, and I was stone cold sober, and I just had a great time with it. Like, there was even a point where I was just like, dude, this is legit fun. Like, it's a good movie. Like, it's like, if anything, here, leave your brain at the door. That's all you got to do. Leave your brain at the door. Don't expect it to be, you know, fucking Godfather or anything like that. Like, not a thinker. It's not a thinker movie. It's not fucking, you know, see, I can't even think about it because all I can think about is Gods of Egypt. But just that's it, man. Just go and watch it, have a good time with it, have a Gods of Egypt party, whatever you can. It's
the Gods of Egypt party.
Legit, just everybody dress up as their favorite god. You know, all goes Anubis. You know, there's probably like 20 Anubis.
Have a big orgy.
Big orgy. Oh yeah, just like Jamie Lannister did at the beginning.
Take a picture and tag us. Let us know how your Gods of Egypt experience was.
Please do. It was so much fun. As like this is the finale, right? For the
Yeah.
big swings.
Yep. Mhm.
Definitely. Like, watch all of the films that we've referenced in order. Watch them, and Gods of Egypt are gonna be like, yes, this fucker swung hard, swung all the way to
Mhm.
fucking Rob space.
So good job. I'm really proud of this movie, and I appreciate you guys letting me let this movie enter your lives.
Oh, hell
So
yeah,
thanks
dude.
for
Thank
listening. Oh, and also everyone listening. I hope that this movie enters your life the same way it's entered mine. So thanks for listening, everybody. Hit that subscribe button on your podcasting app to make sure you are always notified when a new episode of this show releases. We have 2 other podcasts hosted by Ariel. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, mine is You've Never Seen. It's where I introduce one of my undercast company cohorts or somebody else maybe down the line to a movie that's considered a part of pop culture or cinematic history, or ones that I just consider as being shocked as they've never seen it. So yeah, Train Spotting came out earlier this month on the 1st. By this one, the next one's going to be coming out pretty soon. It's going to be The Mask by the Bro, with the Bro featured on it. And
I haven't in a long time. I only seen it as like a really small child.
yeah, that's
Oh,
going to be
wow.
part of our discussion, because it is we
Yeah.
go and listen to that, and then I'll go more in depth into why I still consider that as You've Never Seen.
Right. And Derek also has a podcast. If you like to talk about that, Derek.
Yeah, I do one called Gateway Episodes, where I kind of introduce people to TV shows via gateway episodes, or people sometimes introduce me to shows, and it'll just be kind of like an iconic or rarely representative episode of that TV show that will kind of help get you into it, get you the feel of the show. So yeah, I've had these guys on it a bunch of times, and we've talked about some really cool shows.
Mm-hmm.
For my podcast, look for the green screaming woman.
And so with that, we would like to thank you guys for listening, and we hope to see you again when we talk about another movie in another podcast. So yeah.
And I just want to say,
later.
everybody, thank you so much, everyone who's listening to this kind of weird idea that I had for doing these big swings. And, thanks for all 3 of you guys for coming along on me with this journey, and each of you picking a movie and we each getting to talk about it. Because I've had so much fun taking this little diversion for this very specific kind of underrated movie and talking about all these big swings. And I loved all the ones you guys had suggested, because I hadn't seen any of them. And so I was really glad that you guys shared these kind of big swings with me, because I love these movies, and I had a blast, and I hope we can do some more fun miniseries stuff like this at some time in the future, because this has been amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. I mean, how many of these? It's been 5 of them. It's been Alita.
4
of them. 4.
Yeah.
It's like
One
4 by 4, man. All of them have been bangers. They've all been so much fun. I've had a great time doing these, and please, if you guys can, just listen to them. Jump on, listen to their podcast, listen to our podcast. Everything you can, just cue that bitch up and just fucking listen to all of them if you can.
I'll see you guys in another life.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Thanks for being amazing.
Goodbye.